Now, it has been a very hot week in parts of the country. Here to talk more about that and also what is coming up is the MetService's Heather Keats. Good morning to you, Heather.
Good morning.
Whew, it's been sweltering in Auckland.
It's been sweltering all over the country.
Yeah.
It's been hot.
But also quite volatile. We've had some thunderstorms and the like in some parts too.
Yeah, so yesterday we had quite an active day around New Zealand, mainly over the the southern part of the South Island. Some pretty severe thunderstorms that popped up, some hail. We had about 3,500 lightning strikes over New Zealand in that 24-hour period. It's looking a lot calmer today in terms of thunderstorms. There is still a risk for the northern part of the South Island and also the very northern part of Tairāwhiti, Gisborne from this afternoon, but it's a low risk, not quite as active as yesterday. That daytime heating and the wind convergence was to blame yesterday, but today is a much cooler day. So if we look at temperatures around the country, it's remarkably cold, I think we could probably say. 16 degrees is the high today for Ashburton. So after the sweltering heat that they've had down there, to have 16 degrees is the high today. That's 5 degrees lower than average. And it's just because we've got this southerly change. It doesn't last, but the weekend is a much cooler weekend than what we've had during the week.
Why does that always happen? It's scorching during the week and then it turns to pot at the weekend, or is it still going to be kind of nice?
Yeah, well, so this is the thing. It's cooler than what we've had, but it's actually temperatures in line with what we would expect to see for this time of summer. So places like Tauranga and Whakatane today still going to hit 27 degrees. So it's definitely not, you know, a puffer jacket season, although it might be a little bit down in the south. But then it's back to being really quite warm next week. So Ashburton goes back to a high of 29 from Sunday. So it's not too bad. It's just, we're still just kind of swinging with the southerly that's cold and then the northerly comes in that's warm, and so that's what we've got.
Is it too soon to look ahead to Christmas?
It is. I mean, I have been looking ahead because, you know, I want to make outdoor plans as well. Look, this far out, you have a look at the model runs, and one day, like yesterday, it was looking really good, and then today I ran one of the models and I was like, oh, that is not looking good. So it is far too far out. We kind of like to be a bit more definitive from about 7 days out, but we'll start to get some themes and some trends. We can kind of see where the air pressure is going to hold up from about Monday. So can you hold on?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I won't get ahead of myself. Then
I'll just end up disappointing you and the entire country, and then I have to deal with the emails. So, you know, we'll just hold back.
We'll spare you from that. Talk us about the weather systems, though, that are at play over the coming week.
Yeah, so the weekend's looking great. So today people will notice not just that it's cool, it's actually a little windier too. So it's quite blustery in Auckland, southwesterlies. Places like Dunedin are going to have a windy day today as well. But we've got high pressure moving in from the west. That parks up over the country, and that's what you want for the weekend. High pressure is good. Yes, there'll be some cloud. Yes, there'll be a couple of showers. But generally speaking, tomorrow is looking fantastic around the whole country. Sunday it starts to track east, so we get a bit of a northerly flow kind of establishing itself, so a little bit windier, but actually the weekend is good. Not so good from Monday. Okay, so Monday we've got a whole bunch of new fronts starting to shimmy up the South Island. They're going to track up over the South Island on Monday and then move over central New Zealand on Tuesday. So we are looking at watches and warnings likely to be issued for parts of the South Island, and it's a typical thing. We'll have the heavy rain to the west and over the Alps, and we'll have those really strong winds again to the east. So that'll be the next system we're watching, and then yeah, there could be a little bit more rain coming in later next week for places like Auckland and the upper north.
Not good timing for everyone heading off on the roads and in the air for their holiday.
No, but the weekend is good. So we're just focusing on the fact that if you're travelling this weekend, that's good. Next week, just looking a little iffy. And then, yeah, this time next week, I'll definitely be able to give you a Christmas Day forecast.
We look forward to that. Thank you so much, Heather Keats from the MetService with the weather forecast for the weekend.